Today we're talking about email marketing and how I used it to sell over 90,000 books on Amazon. If you're new here, my name is Rick Betancourt. I've been a self-published author for over 10 years, have published more than 4 novels and books, and have sold over 90,000 on Amazon as a self-published author. So let's dive into it. So one of the first things that we want to talk about and that I often get questions about are what tools. So let's spend a little bit of time today talking about the tools needed in email marketing. First, to sell your books, first and foremost is a good lead magnet. Now, what's a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something you want to share with your readers, your potential readers, about the quality of your work. It could be a short story, it could be a novella, could even be a novel itself. And the idea of it is you're giving it away for free in order to get somebody to subscribe to your email list. Now, one thing to note about this is you don't even really need the book you want to sell, the book you're going to publish on Amazon. You don't even need to have that done. In fact, it's even better to start early and start gathering those emails, gathering those people via your lead magnets, and get them on your email list. And we'll talk about that list in a second. But the earlier, the better. So even if you're still working on your book, start gathering people who are interested in your genre, interested in your topic if you're doing nonfiction, and interested in the type of writing that you do. And you're going to do that by creating a lead magnet. Now, where are you going to put that lead magnet? You're going to put it in a couple of the tools that we'll talk about. But first of all, the purpose of this is to drive, to cast that wider net. Because not everybody, even the people who read your lead magnet, are going to be interested in your writing. So you want to cast that wider net to a broader audience, broader being probably the size of your genre, or think of the scope of your genre. So if you're into LGBTQ fantasy, you may want to have a lead magnet in that genre and cast that out into the tools that we're going to talk about. Cast your lead magnet out to maybe fantasy, which is a little bit broader of a topic. So sticking to the tools, what tools have I used and have found very helpful? And one of the core tools that you can put your lead magnet on and that has been extremely beneficial for me is BookFunnel. And I'll put a link to the website in the comments of this. But BookFunnel allows you to collaborate with other authors and put your book into group giveaways. So this is your lead magnet. You put in your lead magnet your short story, or maybe even a novel that you wrote in the past, novella or something. You're putting that up there. They have their own landing page. All you have to do is upload it there. It creates its own little landing page, and that's your little link for you to participate in these group promos. They also have author newsletter swaps. I haven't had too much luck with that, or I prefer the bigger group promos where you're working with various authors and they're setting up a web page, one of which would include your book, one of many books, and would be a link, and people would be able to go into that page and download your book. And by downloading it, they agree to be on your specific mailing list. One of the nice things about this is all of the authors that are participating in this BookFunnel group promo are required to send it to their email list or to share it elsewhere, and on social media, for instance, to share that link. So you're sending it to your list to for your readers to benefit from other authors that they may find out about, but you're also doing it by way of getting those other authors are sending to you to get their, so you can get more leads. So that's one tool that I have found very beneficial. Now the other tools is obviously the email service provider. And so that's email service provider, or examples of those may be ones I've had experience with and find very helpful: MailerLite, MailChimp, and Systeme.io, and that's Systeme.io. There's others, Constant Contact, some others that, but I prefer, right now I'm using Systeme.io. I find it very robust and very, very good. Their MailerLite is another one. A lot of these have free, you can get it for free for up to 2,000 contacts. Don't quote me on that. Some of they may differ by the time this publishes, and they vary by the ESP. So I'll put the link into those below. But those are 3 really good tools to look at, to set up, so that when people do go to BookFunnel, that email you can automatically connect them to some of these providers, or you can just get an Excel spreadsheet that you download and send to them. So secondly, the second tip that I want to talk about is the ways to engage with your audience. So now that you have them on your email, you want to write to them like you would a friend. And you're going to do this on a think of it as one person that you're writing to, not, hey guys, hey newsletter newbies or fans. It's to, hey you, writing to you specifically, and that gives a more genuine, warm, friendly demeanor. So one person, and also you don't want to be salesy, right? So it's not, and I meant to bring up, maybe if I can log onto my computer, I can show you an example of an email. But so not salesy, right? You're not say, hey, buy my book. It's very engaging, very conversationalist. And one other thing that I do, and a lot of other strong authors tend to do, or specifically that have a copywriting experience, is to not get hung up on imagery and hung up on the look of the email. In fact, you want it to be more like it's coming from, like you would send to your friend. You know, you're not going to put it in this pretty header that says Rick's email newsletter. You know, you can, and people do have some success with that, but just a plain text email, large font, lots of white space, like you would, hey, Joe, just writing to you to blah, 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 you know, just like you would to a friend. And maybe we'll do a deeper dive into that on another video. I've got a lot of other topics to go through, so I don't want to make this video too long. But so that one person, non-salesy, and yes, you can ask them to buy your book eventually, but you're not getting them, hammering them over the head with buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. No, you're sharing. You're having conversations with them. The other thing to do to keep engaged with your audience is to create automated campaigns, and some people call these drip campaigns. When somebody signs up to they get your book funnel, they download it, you're going to put them through an automated sequence of maybe a week's worth of emails, or 5, 6, 7. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be every other day. It could be every day, just to sort of get acquainted with you. You're building a relationship, and that's really the importance of this, is you're building a relationship with your reader. and think of them as as one person. And I often have people ask them to reply to my email, and I get every day. I get emails from people who have signed on to my email. Oh, I really love this email newsletter. It's the point being is that engagement. You want to have that engagement. So automated campaigns, and automated campaigns do that. You don't have to set them up once, and as soon as they sign on, they get the first email, and the second one goes out. You can set it to go out the next day, and all of the tools that I mentioned, and I'll put links to all of those tools below, by the way, all of those have the ability to do automated email campaigns. Also, another factor about engaging with your readers in your email newsletter. Once you have people signed up into your newsletter, you want to start tagging them and segmenting your audience. And you can do that by looking at their activity, how for the people who open the emails, because you get a lot of great stats from these providers, who opened these emails. Everybody who opened this specific email, I may send a different email depending upon the email. It's a great way to find the more engaged somebody is. Maybe they would be a great beta reader, somebody to read your upcoming work or to promote your work for you. I found a lot of great readers that way, by looking at in those who reply personally they get the email and they'll reply, and just write, and I'll reply and have conversations and I found many good beta readers and just good people, in general, just being open and friendly with them. The last tip that I really want to talk about with this is the attitude that, one, you convey, and secondly, that you genuinely have, or the attitude that you give off. One, it's a mindset thing, right? So mindset is so important with this shit. It's not hard. It's not difficult. People get hung up in the tools. They get hung up in, how do I don't understand System.io. I don't understand MailerLite. It's easy. It can be done. If I've done it, you can certainly do it. And if you have any questions or any concerns about it, feel free to email me, put a comment in this, and I'll help you as much as I can. But think of this as you got to have that mindset of wanting to learn and be curious about understanding technology. And I know for some of us, that's not always easy. But it's honestly, in this day and age, you can go on YouTube and query how to do this stuff. It's essential. And even if you're traditionally published or considering traditionally published, you're not exempt from this process. You're still going to need to take charge of your publishing life. And to do that, you want to grab people's emails. Why? Because you own them. You don't own your Facebook followers. You don't own your Twitter followers. You don't own your YouTube followers or your TikTok followers. That can go away, and just like TikTok, it could go away in a matter of days. So all those thousands and thousands of followers you built, they're really not, you're at the mercy of the algorithm. But when you have their email and you grab their email, you get their email by giving them something of value, something that's entertaining them. So keep that mindset, be curious, learn. It's a business, and you get back what you put out, right? So we are who we act like. So be kind and give back to the community. You can give back through your leader magnet, but you'll gain so much in return. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. Let me know, and happy writing and marketing.